Ramona, and I am a Hawaiian-based energy healer and astrologer. So before we get started, just go ahead and just take a deep breath and just come into this space for the next hour. We will just be here together. Get yourself comfortable. And I want to just go ahead and call on the highest guides and angels of this group to come and sit with us during the session to allow us the space to have a little bit of fun with our sun signs in regards to your children. Calling on my highest guides and angels for walking me through this session. So as an astrologer, I have been using my astrology chart for self-discovery since I was about 27. So right around the time when you have your first growth spurt in astrology, what they call your Saturn returns. I started really leaning into astrology. I've been the girl for quite some time that is always incorporating astrology into literally every conversation, every crush. I'm like, what time were you born? Where were you born? And I'm like looking at the chart. And when I started studying here in Hawaii about 3 years ago, or no, gosh, no, it's been 4 years now. In the second year of my healing school, I studied energy medicine and really the effects of stress and trauma on the body and how to really heal your energetic side. In the second year, we studied astrology, and it was something that I was obsessed with and I picked up on really, really quickly. Not only was I able to sort of understand everything, it became a really intuitive tool for me to use for myself first, and then with my clients. And astrology has become one of my favorite spiritual tools for self-discovery. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. One of the things, so I am not a mom, but I am a nanny. So I am currently working with a mom here in Hawaii, helping raise her 6-month-old daughter. I've been with that baby since she was 8 weeks old. And in the beginning, I would always be like, Taylor, why don't I do the baby's astrology chart? And she'd be like, oh my God, yeah. And so it became this thing that we did to help understand where your kids are at as they're growing. And on my 30th birthday, one of my astrologers gave me a gift, and it would have been, it's called a child reading. And it was as if I was a child, and it would said all the qualities that this kid needs, this kind of exercise. It said I needed surfing. It said I needed travel, all these really interesting things about ways in which I would operate really skillfully in the world. So that's what we're going to do today. Today, we're just going to keep it very simple, and we're going to talk about the sun signs. So the sun sign really is, that's like the main astrology point. Like that is the one that like everyone is saying, that's your sun sign. So awesome. So with that being said, we'll just go ahead and jump in. So the deck I'm sharing with you guys, Corey will share it with you after the session. It's just a ton of information about astrology, about what we're talking about. So one of my favorite astrologers says that astrology is the poetry of astronomy. And each one of the signs and each one of the planets and each one of the houses has some meaning to it. And there's ways in which we intuitively interpret it to get to the root of self-discovery. And this is a tradition. It's a very modern approach right now. Astrology is definitely having a moment, but this is something that they have been using astrology charts for thousands of years. Kings used to bring astrologers in to look at what was happening with whether Ronald Reagan had an astrologer in the White House, and Princess Diana was really good friends with her astrologer. So again, this is just a really cool way to connect on how your child is going to operate skillfully in the world and unskillfully in the world. And I like to say that because every sign is going to have a pro and it's going to have a con. So sometimes when I do this, people are like, oh, whoa, but it's like, no, everyone has that yin and that yang. So what we'll do is I'm just going to take us through the signs of everyone here plus their kid. And then this deck has everything else in it. But again, the sun, when we're talking about the sun sign, this is our destiny. This is our identity. When people are like, what's your sign? You're like, I'm an Aries, right? So this is the main sign of the chart. It really describes who we are. If you're talking about the chart karmically, it's really what energy we're channeling in this lifetime. And I would say it is the easiest point in the chart to start on a journey of self-discovery. This is the color wheel of the chart. So every sign has a color. This is a cool little thing. It has some of the tarot cards that are associated with each chart. But today we're going to go through the phrase, the date range, a symbol, a ruling planet, an archetype of mode, and an element. And as I said, this will be ways in which it operates in a skillful and unskillful manner. Okay, so I like to have this in here because everyone asks this. What is my best match? Who's my opposite? So the way it works on the astrology chart is whoever is directly opposite on the chart is your polar opposite. So that could be really great, and that could also be really annoying. So I just filled this out. So Ursula, you and Gavin are opposites. Betsy isn't here. And then Corey, you and Valen are opposites on the chart. So we'll get into that in a minute. But I do like to point that out just so that you can kind of see. And they do say, whoever is really like close, either two back or two ahead, those are the signs sometimes that they're a little tricky. So when, like, I'm going to use Aries. For me, the Pisces and the Aquarius are behind me, but then the Taurus and the Gemini are ahead of me. So I want to get to the ones that are ahead of me. And the ones that are behind me, I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. So kind of depending on proximity on the chart, that could have some things too. So, okay. All right, so now I'm just going to get into the 12 signs and go through that for all of you guys. So there's no Aries in this group. Okay, our Geminis. We have some Geminis, Ursula, Betsy, and Cash. So the Gemini is, I think, they are the witness, they're the teachers, they are the storytellers, the journalists of the zodiac. They're the twins. Their ruling planet is Mercury, which is all about communication. It's a mutable air sign. So the mutable is the element or the mode, and the air is the element. So what does that mean? It means that they like a lot of change. The Geminis, they're happy and they're sad. They like blue, then they like red. It's this very dueling polarity that they're kind of jumping back and forth on. When they're operating in a skillful manner, it's intelligent, it's bright, it's learning really easy, witty, curious, inquisitive, logical, rational, super talkative, can adapt to anything, flexible. Unskillful, it's spacey, overly abstract, too many words, inconsistent, scattered, indecisive, and fickle. And Gemini moms will really want to talk about everything. And if you have kids that are Geminis, they're never going to stop talking, and they're going to be really indecisive kids. They're going to be picky eaters. They're going to not want to go to school. They are going to just be this and that all the time. And Geminis do really well in pairs. I like to say that when you're thinking about like play dates for your child or play dates for another mom. Like Geminis like to be 1 and 1. They don't like to be 1, 2, and they don't like to be 2 and 1. They like to be in pairs. And I think when we're working with this energy, it's like having your kids know, okay, I'm a Gemini, I'm a little indecisive, help me make that decision. Or knowing that your kid is a little indecisive and kind of being like, okay, so do you want this or do you want this? You get to pick. The life purpose of the Gemini is to find a path through communication and reaching people, okay? Cancers. Our sweet Cancers, Corey and Molly. So this is, I feel, this is the mom of the zodiac. It's the crab. Its ruling planet is the moon and the 4th house. It is the mother, the healer, and the invisible woman. It's a cardinal water sign. So cardinal is all about the beginning. They want to start, really do something. They're great at initiation. Water signs are super emotional. They have a lot of emotional awareness. They're very fluid, and they can be a little bit attached, clingy. Skillfully, they're very feeling, they're receptive, they're so sensitive. Cancers and Pisces are the most sensitive sign of the zodiac. Very tender-hearted, sympathetic, nurturing, providing, and tenacious. They're tenacious because they're literally the mom of the zodiac. Unskillfully, they're insecure, moody, defensive, over-emotional, non-trusting, overprotective, timid, and brooding. Cancer moms want to hug, they want to touch, they really want to feel their babies. I would say, Cancer moms, when you're kind of feeling a little off, go touch the baby, put a little lotion on the hands, massage the baby, because Cancers actually really need that touch. They're the true mothers, like I said, they just want to nurture. Cancer homes are usually pretty nice and cozy because they're crabs. So think about the animal, they want to kind of go into their shell, and their home is really their safe space. But be careful not to smother, and make sure you're putting time towards your own nurturing. The life purpose of the Cancer is really to step into a leadership and have a purpose where they can lead, because they're the mothers. So this is the Lion. Leo is ruled by the sun. These are the kings and the queens of the zodiac. They're also the performers, the child, and the clown. This is ruled by the 5th house. So Leo is all about creating, creativity, joy, pleasure, children. It's a fixed fire sign, so that means it's really about being in the middle of things. And if you kind of think about that from the perspective of the queen is really in the middle of stuff. She's building upon all these different things to create a beautiful kingdom. But remember, what I like to say to the Leos is that as a good queen, you're being served by your kingdom, but you're also serving your kingdom. It is self-confident, dynamic, powerful, creative, warm, big-hearted, super playful. But it's also prideful, self-centered, selfish, stubborn, a little snobbish, very childish, demands to be the center of attention. And Leo moms are really your creative moms. They're going to want to spend time making and creating with their kids, doing crafts, or actually drawing things is something that will keep you in a good headspace. And also being dramatic, whether that's like theater or acting or storytelling, I think is a great thing. Just creating anything. Their life purpose is to change and make things happen and have the freedom to create. And Leos need to be told how much you appreciate them. So I think I like to add that in there to make sure your family knows, hey, can you just let me know that I need to be told that you appreciate me, even if it's as simple as being like, I appreciate you. Okay, next, no Virgos, no Libras, Sagittarius. So Mary, I'm sorry I didn't have the name of your baby. And then we have Maddox and Gavin. So these are the gypsies of the zodiac. This is the wanderer, the student, the philosopher. It's a mutable fire sign. So again, it likes a lot of variety, and it is a fire sign. So it's about creativity. It's about action. It's about spirituality. It's about the real creative plane. So Sagittariuses are wise, they're understanding, philosophical, ethical. They're really going to like to look at the big picture of things, really optimistic, exploring, and adventurous. Unskillfully, they're totally condescending know-it-alls. Their heads are in the clouds. They're very self-righteous. They have an opinion. It's like dogma. They have an opinion about everything. They're scattered. They can be excessive and restless. So my best friend has a little boy that's a Sagittarius, and this kid needs adventure. Like, he'll go anywhere. Like, literally take the Sagittarius and they'll go, oh, you want to go on adventure to Foodland? You want to go to the market? They'll go anywhere. They need to feel like they're exploring. They need to feel like they're expanding. And I think, especially with the Sagittarius, is using words like, oh, you want to go exploring? Oh, you want to go on this adventure with me? That adventure could literally be to the mailbox, and they would buy into it because they have this need to do that. So yeah, like I said, let them just go in the backyard and feel like they're going somewhere. Their life purpose again is to harness the big picture. So I think when the Sagittariuses get a little stuck, maybe in school, okay, what's the big picture of this? Let's look at how we can expand in this type of thing. So those are our sweet little Sagittariuses. And now we have our Capricorn vowels. So this is I use, and Capricorn is the goat. It is ruled by the planet Saturn. Saturn and Pluto are the two really the toughest planets of the zodiac. And it's the hermit, the father, and the prime minister. So it's a cardinal earth sign. So it's going to want to start stuff, and it's really slow and steady. Capricorns need structure. They need discipline. They need to have really set in stone. When they're skillful, it's organized, practical, responsible, disciplined, structured, systemic, planning, super patient, a little prudent, reserved. Unskillful, it's controlling, conservative, very rigid, overcautious, restricted, self-doubting, and overambitious. And like I said, the Capricorn kids really want structure and discipline. They have very natural leadership skills. So I always tell the moms with the Capricorn kids, just let your kid be in charge of something. Let them be the boss of something, even if it's something so silly when they're young, like, oh, you're the boss of putting napkins on the table, stuff like that. Let them own and find ways to manage things, because it's the dad of the zodiac. So it's like what dads, and I don't like in a more traditional, not patriarchal way like that, but like that dads often go and provide, and they go accomplish a bunch of things, and then they bring it home to their families. They're climbing a mountain and it's a goat. So like I said before, he does want to be left alone. They want to just like figure it out on their own, because the other thing about the Capricorn, if you're looking at the wheel of the zodiac, the 10th house is the highest descending point on the zodiac. So the way that it sits on the chart, it is the highest point. So there's something in that when you're talking about this Capricorn energy. So really just letting them kind of be the boss and have goals. Val's going to want goals, and he's going to want to accomplish those goals. He's going to want to check off those goals. And yeah, what their life purpose is to find who can help in relationships and partnerships and accomplish things. The other thing about Capricorns is they're totally traditional. They're not wild. They're just very, very traditional. So that's our Cappies. Okay, our Aquarius. So the Aquarius is about knowing. I know. The ruling planet here is Uranus. The Aquarius is a fixed air sign. So again, being in the middle of things, being quick, mental, social. This is the genius, the truth slayer, the revolutionary, and the scientist. All you need to know about Aquarius is that they want to be in a group. They don't want to be left alone. They have a need to be around a group. The more, the merrier. They're not going to have a good time in a one-on-one play date. They want to go play with all the kids in the neighborhood. They want to join clubs. You want to encourage them to join clubs and organizations. When they're skillful, they're reforming, progressive, very liberal. These are your humanitarians, very democratic, very social. They're people-oriented people. They're very unorthodox. They're unconventional. This is not your traditional person. They're gonna like colored hair. They're probably gonna like other people that have that same nature about them. They're they're disorganized, undisciplined, a rebel without a cause, unreasonable, and a little unpredictable. So yeah, they're really good at trying new things in the family. Let the Aquarius pick the new place to go to dinner. Let the Aquarius pick the new thing to do, because they're really good about getting people to break out of those traditional molds. And they're wanting to be innovative. So giving them a space where these are your kids that are going to try the new food. These are your kids who are totally fine if they have a new lunch, and they really want to help people. So giving them that space even as children to do that. Their life purpose is really to heal, transform, and reinvent things. And just let them be weird. They're kind of weirdos. So those are our Aquariuses. Okay, so there's no Pisces. Okay, so then quickly I want to just go through these as just the last thing that we'll talk about. So all the cardinal signs, the Aries, the Cancers, the Libra, and Capricorns, they like to start things. So I like to mention these because even in a family dynamic, like you guys, this is like a team that you guys are all in. So using yourself to really to your advantage within your family dynamic. These cardinal signs, they want to do something and they're a little bit bossy. The fixed signs are Mary, Quinn, and Cash. So these are they're in the middle of things. They want to build upon what's already started. They're going to come in and do the puzzle after it's already been started. They want to come in and help finish dinner. They're just really good in the middle of things. Our mutable signs, Ursula, Betsy, Sunny, and Maddox. The mutable signs just need a lot of variety. So they want to change it up. They love change. This is the mode that really embraces the change. But sometimes they're kind of hard to pin down because they're kind of too much variety. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the elements. So the earth signs. So the earth signs are our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorns. They really like a structured environment and get their hands in the dirt. They want to cultivate things. And I like to say when the earth signs are having a moment, like when Val maybe is having a moment, once it's a little bit warmer, put him outside, like let him go play in the dirt. Like earth signs want to like dig around and just be in the earth. Our water signs, Corey and Molly, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And they're just the emotional signs of the zodiac. They're going to talk about their emotions. They're going to be emotional. They like to nurture us and give us what we need. And when the water signs are out of sorts, take a bath, jump in the ocean, jump in the pool, take a shower, or literally just drink some water, because there's something so soothing about just connecting to your own element. Air signs, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, they're just going to want to talk about it. They're going to be quick. They're very social. It's the head game. These signs are really up in their head, and that's for your family to help remind you to get yourself out of your head, or to really slow down enough to where you're listening to the higher vibrational voice in the head versus the lower vibrational voice that is up in the head. And our fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So fire signs need to run around and play until they can't run anymore. So if you have a baby that's a fire sign, just let them go, go, go. They have so much energy. And I think it's as if I'm a fire sign, and my dad had to put me in sports that were so hard that I would like collapse. So teaching them how to really release that energy. And when they're feeling a type of way, they really do need a cold shower, because we can't like light ourselves on fire, but like they really need to cool off. But I like to remind people, like, the fire signs can't have the fire go out. Like that's not the answer. So it's like cool it down so it's just a little bit more contained. Yeah, so that's all the signs that those are all the sun signs. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. So we can just run the charts together. So the way that I do it is I would do a natal chart reading for you and then a natal chart reading for your baby. And what I do is, it's very similar. It's a lot of talking like this, a lot of listening questions, but then I like to see like where there's a little bit of crossover so that you can really understand where your children are kind of going to really bring some stuff up for you. Because it's like, well, if you're both Aries, then, well, we know what's going to happen there, or you're both this. So yeah, I would look at how the charts overlap and really give you more like a blueprint as to what to expect from your Capricorn sun, like what to expect from a kid who needs a lot of structure, and you're not that. So a Cancer is not craving that same kind of structure. So I think it's just about learning what to expect to really be engaged more energetically and emotionally with your children. And I think for me, to be really frank, like I grew up in a house where no one was really paying attention to me, and no one really ever tried to nurture these things that I later learned were really crucial to my survival and my well-being. So if I could give a place where you could learn just another way to connect with your kids and really help them, like when I'm nannying, like, so for example, the baby I nanny for, I've read her chart like 100 times, but she's a Virgo. So I know she really wants to have structure. So when we were sleep training the baby and the mom was like freaking out, I was like, no, just make it structurized, just structurize the whole thing. Or I know Virgos like to be told that they're doing a good job. So I say that to the baby, even though when, I'm like, oh, good job, you pooped for me, or like whatever it is. Like I just use these little things that I know help us operate in a skillful manner in the world and in alignment with our higher purpose. And that's really all that this is. So I love to do the family readings. I did like a husband and wife. I do husband and wife readings. I do kids readings. So those are really fun. And yeah, that's kind of about the readings. So I also do hands-on energy treatments. So what is that? That since we're not in person. So I work with your 7 chakras and the 7 layer of your energy field to balance your energetic body to get you back in alignment. So before the session, I use a pendulum. I check your chakras. I see what kind of readings the chakras give me. And that is the way in which we have the conversation where, for example, let's say your first chakra is jammed up. I would say, all right, what's going on? You're not really in your body. Where do you not feel safe? And so by having conversations and me putting my hand on a pillow, since we're on Zoom, I'm really moving energy up and out of your body and helping you open up your whole energy field. So I do that as well. And I do energy treatments on this baby all the time. And the mom will come in and be like, I'll like be massaging the baby or like, and the mom comes in and is like, can I like hold the baby? She's like, I don't want to like interrupt anything right now. I'm like, oh yeah, it's your baby. But yes, I work on that baby all the time. Yeah, so that's kind of what I offer. And I think that astrology is a really fun way to just get to know your family and have a little bit of insight on how to deal with these kids. Like there's another family that I used to babysit, just a nanny for, and I could through because I knew their sun signs, I could really help them deal with their emotions and when they were freaking out. So yeah, that's what it's all about.